There is a guy on Twitter, I can't know what his handle is, who is claiming that we are going to bomb Iran tonight. And he's not the only one, actually. There's another guy who I can't think what his name is. I've listened to him before. I think he's French. They're both finance guys, I think. Anyway, but they're claiming that, because we are pattern recognizing people, that today, the 11th, is the day, and that we're going to go in and bomb Iran tonight. The problem with bombing Iran, well, two things. First of all, the Iranians, I think, after last summer, don't have anything left that they can run long range. So I'm not really worried about that. That's my suspicion anyway. I think what happened back in the summer was to draw the Iranians out and get them to run out of whatever they did have. I don't think they have a whole lot left to lob, if you will. At least like long range stuff toward Israel. Despite what some people would say. And then I think that the other thing is J.D. Vance is in Armenia, which is not that far, and obviously the Armenians are interested in this. We got to keep the Armenians happy, because the Armenians have had a trading relationship with the Iranians for quite some time, because the Armenians are pretty isolated geographically. So there's that too. So Vice President Vance is in Armenia today. So that's also playing into people's speculation. And then what was the other thing? Oh, and then Kyle Bass, I want to swear, but I'm not going to, is now claiming that like the Iranians are going to false flag or something. It's so hard to keep all the pieces, keep track of everything. And everyone's really antsy to get this done. And of course I am too, in a sense, because, my position on this is that we need the Iranian oil. It's just part of the play. And if you look at what the energy people are saying, there's not enough oil on the market for what we need to happen. And I mean, some people are now saying, and I think I'll do a different video on that subject. We're trying to keep, there's two pieces to this. I personally don't think that the Chinese, I think that they're kind of in a depression, and I don't think they need as much oil, but also we don't want them to have oil, right? So like part of this is about, keeping the Russian oil and gas off the market. We saw that happen with the Venezuelan situation. And it's the same thing with the Iranian situation as well. We don't want it going to the Chinese. So the Russians are fine. They'll be whatever. I mean, they're not fine. They'll figure it out. They always have. Russians are good at living in poverty. I'm sorry. I've lived in Russia. Believe me, Russians are really good at just like figuring it out and living with being in a bad situation. So I'm not really that worried about them, to be honest. Even though the situation there is pretty bleak. But yeah, so we'll see what happens overnight. I will keep an eye on it and let you guys, So comment what you think. But I'm telling you, I just believe that we need the Iranian oil back online, and legitimately back online. None of this like black market stuff. So I think that's what this is all about. And that means that our options for bombing are actually very limited. So I'm just going to stop there and come back to it later when and if it ever does happen.